to my channel. And on my channel, we talk about strange things, legends, topics to do with just anything strange. I thought we would do the strange death of Natalie Woods. And if y'all see me looking down, I have all kinds of notes, so I want to make sure I get the details right for y'all. And if y'all hear any dogs barking or running in and out of the pictures, I have animals, and they do that. Okay, so we're going to talk about the death of Natalie Woods. Natalie Woods was a famous actor in the 1950s. She did up to 13 or 14 movies when she was a child. One of the movies that she did, one of the most famous movies that she did, was A Miracle on 34th Street when she was a child. And Natalie also had a real bad fear of water. She had always had a fear of drowning. And she had did a movie where they had did a bridge, and she was supposed to walk across the bridge in the movie. And the bridge had collapsed. It was supposed to do that in the movie, and she had fell into the water and broke her wrist, and so she's always had a fear of water. Well, Natalie was married to Robert Wagner. If y'all don't know who Robert Wagner is, you need to Google him. He's also a famous, he was a famous actor in Hollywood. And her and Robert Wagner, they married in 1957. And then they divorced, and then they remarried again later on. And her and Robert Wagner also had one child together. But the weird thing about Natalie being scared of water is her and Robert Wagner was also married on a yacht, and the fear of water was always around her. Okay, on the night in question, Natalie Wood and Robert Wagner and Christopher Walken, which he is also a famous actor, they were all on their boat, Robert Wagner's boat, which was called the Splendor. They had been drinking, and then they ended up going to shore, and they drank there for a while. And then they ended up coming back to the Splendor, and then they continued to drink. And Natalie Wood had become friends with Christopher Walken because they were making a movie together. And so they was joking around, and everybody had been drinking. And Robert Wagner was also known to be a very jealous man. So they say that Robert Wagner was very jealous of Christopher Walken. So they continued to argue, and then Natalie Wood had got the captain to take her back to shore. She had asked the captain to take her back to shore. So she stayed at the shore for a little while, and she got a motel, and she had talked to the captain, and then she decided to go back to the Splendor. So him and her go back to the Splendor. She boards the Splendor, hoping that she can talk to Robert Wagner and maybe smooth everything over with him. And they begin to argue again. Well, the captain said that he could hear them arguing from upstairs on the Splendor. He said it sounded like that they were getting physical. So he goes down and he knocks on the door, and Robert Wagner opens the door and says, "What?" And then he says he was just checking to make sure everybody was okay. So he goes back upstairs. And he sits back upstairs for a little while, and then everything gets quiet. So he assumes that maybe they had made up and everybody had went to bed. So shortly after that, Robert Wagner tells him that Natalie is missing. And he asks Robert Wagner if he can turn on the searchlights and look for her. And he said, no. He said, let's just sit here, and he opens up a bottle of wine, and they sit there and they drink for a little while. And an hour passes and still no Natalie. And again, Natalie was terrified of water. And if she wanted to get off of the Splendor, she always asked someone to help her, like get into the dinghy, take her to shore. So the captain was thinking there's no way she could have got off this boat without someone's help. So finally at 1 o'clock, they called in that she was missing. And she was found a mile from the dinghy. And she was wearing her nightgown, wool socks, and a heavy jacket. So if you're going to go to shore, you're obviously going to put something else on beside that. And on her body there was bruises, and they said that it looked like that had happened before she had passed away. And from this day, Robert Wagner, he doesn't answer any questions to do with Natalie's death. He, swears that he had nothing to do with it. Her reason of death, they say, was drowning. Like it was accidental drowning. But again, she could not swim. She was terrified of water. I just cannot believe that she would have tried to untie the dinghy herself, get in the dinghy, and then go to shore, regardless of how much she had to drink. Natalie Wood died in 1981, and she was 43 years old. The case, the Los Angeles Police Department has opened up her case, so her case is now opened. And that is it. That's all my Natalie Wood story. But to me, it seems like something happened to her. I don't believe that she accidentally drowned. And for Robert Wagner telling the captain not to turn on the searchlights and look for her, I think there's a lot of stuff about that argument that night on that boat that we do not know about. But this video is in memory of Natalie Wood. And thanks for watching, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.